ever since I was a child. A craving for the truth, the need to find the spark that lit the fire. And I can't settle with the journey in the night, it's not my thing. I step through the dark, discovering the perfect moon to
Alright, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Welcome to show number 82. 82. Holy smokes. Toby, lovely to see you. We have Elise here this show. Hi Lisa. Hi Jan, Valerie and Tom are here. Lovely to see you guys.
There's coffee, bringing laughter, conversations, and a private candy store.
Come and be in space with me today.
Fingers dance on countertops to steal a taste. Too good to ignore.
Come on. Clayton's here. Lauren is tuning in. Oh, she's working out. She's working out on the treadmill. Woo! Well, okay, Lauren. Now you gotta turn up the speed. Let's go! Woo! Oh, hi, Solande. Lovely to see you. Oh, wonderful. And it is. Made with love. Oh, Charles is here. I love Look, the William Shatner takeoff was incredible. I love that. Such poetry. Fantastic. Yeah. Well, we're all just on a rock, you know, flying around in space, so why not, huh? Why not? Oh, we've got a very special guest today as well, which is very exciting. Now's the time to share. So, I'm going to count down, and when I get to 0, hit that share button. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Hit the share button. Click the share button. Share the video. We can see everyone who shares. And a huge thank you for Elise being in the background. Alright. Well done, Toby. You're an epic sharer. Alright. That's enough of that. Welcome to show number 82. 82 weeks in a row we have been going without a break. And it's been absolutely amazing to be able to do a show this regularly. I think this is probably the most regular thing that I've done in my life so far. For 82 weeks in a row, just catching up with you guys every week has been just fantastic. So, it's been a really cool thing. And also seeing all these wonderful people that have come on. Rebecca's here as well. Look, I'm expecting some really great harmonies from you, Rebecca. And to all my Melbourne and Victorian fans, welcome. Thank goodness you're getting out of lockdown. Oh, I feel so happy for you guys. All right. Let's start the show off with this song. Not dedicated to anyone in particular, but here we go. You know what? Let's do this for Chris, who's driving on the freeway right now and listening in. probably somewhere in Alabama. It's so easy to live my kind of life. You sit on the edge and watch the time fly. Don't have much to spend, but you seem to get by. You smile at the people getting on with their lives. I'm gonna sail right through this Sunday, 'cause Monday won't cause me no pain, no pain. And before you are done with your weekly crusade, it's sure to be Sunday again. Sunday again. Come out from your shelter, step out of your life, 'cause I invite you all here to share a moment in time. Tomorrow you're older, so today you should smile. Break from the cycle that lets you live blind. Blind. And I'm gonna sail right through this Sunday, 'cause Monday won't cause me no pain, no pain. And before you are done with your weekly crusade, it's sure to be Sunday again. Oh yeah, I don't have the answers, don't live by my guide. 'Cause I found out happiness comes from inside. I don't need to accumulate riches to smile. Love feels so good, why don't you try? I'm gonna sail right through this Sunday, 'cause Monday won't cause me no pain, no pain. And before you are done with your weekly crusade, it's sure to be Sunday again. Sunday again. Sunday again. It's Sunday again. Yeah, oh, it's beautiful. I was trying not to read the comments as they were coming. Haley's here. Oh, mwah. Terry is here. Oh, Julie is here. Fantastic. Lovely to see you guys here. Katie is here. Fantastic. Oh, I haven't seen you on here for ages, Katie. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Toby, yes, it is a bit of a deep song. Grenfell, New South Wales. Sharon is here. Fantastic. I know, it gets a little, it's different every time, isn't it, Julie? It totally depends. The cool thing about that song is it kind of changes as the emotional, moment changes. To tell you the truth, all I was trying to think about is getting through that song because I've been singing quite a lot this weekend and you've got to, just pacing myself, that's all. Just pacing myself. Charles is here. I hope our lockdown is pretty much on the way out, which is good. Charles says the hospitals are full. Oh no, that's no good. I hope you guys are all okay. Look, wherever you are, whatever is going on, look, just take some joy and some love from this show here today. We're here to share music and to be here and be kind to each other. That's what we're here to do. I am super excited about my next guest, and I'm just going to read you a little bit from his bio because just it blows me away. So my next guest studied both classical and jazz guitar at the Sydney Conservatorium of Music, where he completed his doctorate on the role of the electric guitar in art music. He regularly performs rock and roll, blues, bluegrass, folk, jazz, and many other styles all around Australia. He's one of the most sought after session players in the country. And still, he's sort of relatively unknown in the pop world, but we're going to change that, right? He's considered to be one of the most versatile guitarists of his generation, and he's performed both classical and popular repertoire in Europe, Asia, and in Australia. Not America for some reason. I'm going to ask him about that. He has performed with the Auckland Symphony Orchestra, the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra, Australian Opera and Ballet Orchestra, Orchestra Victoria, Eminence Sydney Orchestra, Sydney Symphony Orchestra, Slavil Gagarin, and says that he's an incredible soloist. Publications have described Zane as a multi-genre firebrand and an expert guitarist. Look, you and I both know that I'm not in any position to be able to make any judgment calls on other guitar players. But I have a friend who is in that position, and he says Zane Banks is clearly one of the greatest guitarists working in the world today. I would like to introduce you, and please welcome, a very, very hearty welcome. I'm going to get some applause here to Dr. Zane Banks. Yeah!
Morning.
Good
Thanks for having me on the show.
You're very welcome. Look, it's such an honour to have you here. It really is. I met you when I went into the studio to play a couple of songs. You're one of the session players in there, and you just totally ripped it to pieces, like with your tone and your playing. Like there wasn't a wrong note to be heard anywhere, and I was like, who is this guy? Right? It was such an insane session, and I'm so grateful that I met you. But one of the things that welcome to the show, and I know that you haven't done a lot of streaming. I mean, you've been playing for quite a while now, and obviously all the orchestration stuff, and your playing style is you cover so many things because you know so much about your instrument. I was saying to a friend of mine before you came on the show, I was like, I don't even know what I should ask you because you know so much. But I think one of the silly things that I can ask you, I think, is what does it feel like to be a doctor of guitar?
You know what? It's a kind of an underwhelming thing. Like, it's like graduating from high school. You spend all these years working towards it and then you get it. And it's nice to have it. But it was about the journey more than the destination, if you know what I mean. It's not like you get there and then all of a sudden you get a medal and people like salute you on the street. Like you're still just the same person. But the path, I mean, I spent 5 years doing the PhD, but roughly like 9 years at uni or university. And then all of the other study and the sort of information that I sort of picked up along the way in the contacts, like that was the really invaluable sort of part. So unfortunately, I can't add a zero to like my yearly income or anything like that. If only it was that simple. Yeah. But yeah, there was just a lot of on-the-job sort of experience and the sort of regimented discipline of being at college and like critically reading and studying and doing that stuff. There's just things that I wouldn't have learnt, just playing gigs.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If you just spend your entire life at university, there's a lot of on the gig experience you just never learn.
So on just doing a quick shallow dive into you as an artist and also looking up things that I could find on the net about you. Can you tell me a little bit about George Lentz's Ingui?
So for those who are tuning in, I've ended up playing a lot of classical music on the electric guitar, which was never my intention. It just sort of happened, and this is how it happened. I was at university. I was in first year, and I was studying classical guitar and jazz, and I was in a guitar lesson, and my guitar teacher, who was quite a well-known classical guitarist in Australia, said, "Oh, look, I've had a phone call from a member of the Sydney Symphony Orchestra who is a composer, and he's looking for an electric guitarist. You can read, and you play electric guitar as well as classical guitar. Give him a call." Oh, so okay, cool, whatever. I'd sort of learnt being, a self-employed musician, you say yes to everything because you never know when your next paycheck's coming. I was like, all right, sure, I don't really know what this is going to be, but whatever. And I met George. George is originally from Luxembourg, but he'd been in Australia since, I don't know, like 1990 or something like that, and was quite well known in the contemporary classical music scene internationally. Right. And he said, look, I'm interested in writing like a pretty substantial piece for electric guitar, unaccompanied electric guitar, but I don't know a lot about the instrument because it's quite a strange instrument. The way it's tuned, how you notate for it, how you get different sort of tones, distortion and that. If you're not a guitar player, it's a bit of a, for the uninitiated, you really need to be shown the ropes. Yeah. So we sort of got together over a couple of months and I was like, oh, well, this is what Hendrix would do and this is how you notate it. And in the end, he ended up writing like an hour-long unaccompanied guitar sonata, basically, which I got to go to Europe and premiere. Yeah, it was good. I was like 19 years old and did my European debut, and then I got it released on Naxos Records, which at the time was the biggest label in the world. I don't know if they still are, but it meant that I got reviewed in like American Record Collector, and I had my own albums in the Sydney University Library, and it was that kind of put me on the map in the classical world because it's such a niche thing. Any composers that wanted a guitarist or orchestras, they go, "I'll just get Zane." And so, as I said, like I never planned for it. I never like really wanted it. It kind of happened. They're very high pressure gigs. They're not like, when we've played together, right? And it's good fun, whether we're playing like your tunes or Eagles tunes. Yeah. Doing like contemporary European art music is, it's not like this is heaps of fun. Like you have to be really focused, and it's intimidating playing with an orchestra. Because that's what they do all the time, and I come in, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like...
Absolutely. I'm sure that you would be getting a few kind of looks from the orchestra going, we've got a guitar player coming in, excuse me, what?
You know what, it's gotten heaps better. Like 15 years ago, it was very much like that, like, who's this guy? And they would just look at your amp and they would think you're too loud immediately. But the scene has really changed quite a bit. I mean, I haven't done a gig with an orchestra, of course, for like 18 months because of COVID, but they're much better now with the concept of an electric guitarist.
We've got a few comments coming through. Julie says, that's one hell of a resume, Zane.
Thank you.
And Valerie's saying, welcome. Oh,
thank you.
My mum says hi. There you go. Hi
nice
from
to
Mum.
meet you.
Natalie says, good morning from a wet and stormy Gladstone,
morning.
Queensland. Charles says, Australia turns out so many guitar virtuosos. Does Tommy have anything to do with this? Well, actually, what did inspire you to get into guitar playing?
Initially, it was Slash. So I was born in 1986, and like when you would turn on the television in the late 80s, like just hair metal was everywhere. And I remember seeing Slash. And then my older brother's girlfriend gave me a cassette of Nevermind, which I think just had its 30th anniversary. And they were the two things I was just like, I want to do that. That's cool. But, of course, Tommy, like, growing up in Sydney, Australia in the 90s, like, Tommy Manuel was a household name. You know, it was right when his career was really going. Like, he was on Hey Hey It's Saturday, which was like our Tonight Show. He was on it, you know, a couple of times a year. He was playing around the place, and you just, like, if you're a guitar player, like, you're into Tommy Emmanuel.
For
So,
sure.
learn a lot of his tunes, and I've only ever actually met him twice. I met him once when I was about 14. I had a show, and I like picked a tune for him, and he signed my guitar. And the last time we were on the festival together, and I had a backstage pass, and we kind of just hung out and chatted a bit, you know, before and after his show. And like, I mean, you know him much better than I. He's such a lovely person. You know, guitar virtuoso aside, he's just a really like wonderful human being.
Which is really interesting because all of the people that I've met so far that are in Tommy's league and in your league are just wonderfully humble, incredibly, just incredible people. And I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something about learning an instrument to that, you know, to that degree just makes you grounded in some way, shape or form. Look, the other thing that I want to ask you before you play a song, we'd love for you to play
Sure.
a song for us.
Yeah, totally.
Out of all of these different genres that you've played in and also been pulled into, obviously with the orchestra stuff, the style of music that you love to play, tell us, because you're about to play a couple of songs in a particular style. Tell me what draws you to this style, and tell everyone what it is.
I really like mid-century American music. I love it, you know. And by that I mean like country music, blues, and jazz. And I love where they kind of intersect. I find it really exciting. There's just something about the storytelling from a lyrical point of view, like the songs from Hank Williams, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, you know, Howlin' Wolf. The tones that they get, like the recording quality and the guitar tone and the drum tone, the attitude, how they all looked, like it's cool personified as far as they got it right back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nice.
And I don't want to be a museum piece, you know, there's some bands that like faithfully recreate an album so it sounds like something that Hank Williams never released. And I figured like, well, why would you listen to that when you could just listen to Hank Williams? But I like to really try and honor that stuff, and it's fun. I like to do what I enjoy, you know.
All right, well, I will leave you on here shortly to introduce your song you're going to
Sure.
play and to share something with us. Jan Anderson says she saw Tommy last night. I think he played the Graceland stage last night, which you know would be a huge, a wonderful, fun thing for him because he loves Elvis. And Clayton's saying, my goodness. Yes, Clayton. Very impressive. All right, let's we'll leave you to it, Zane. Introduce your song, and I'll jump back on afterwards.
Yeah, cool.
Dr. Zane Banks, everyone.
Thank you so much. This is a honky-tonk tune I wrote called Self-Taught Medicine Man. I figured every country artist needs a drinking song, so this is mine. Well, you can keep your fancy titles and the letters after your name, 'cause all the expert advice I've received is just more of the same. Well, I'm pretty well acquainted with that 12-step program. I do it twice a day, come what may, from the motel to the bar. Well, the shakes go away when I hear them start to pour, and I guess it won't hurt if I have a couple more. Well, my poor old mind's been so unkind, I can't take it anymore. So I down this round, please stick around and pick me up off the floor. affliction, heal thyself. Well, that's what you hear them say. And an apple a day is supposed to keep the good old doctor away. But I'm hungry for something more medicinal, and I'm a self-taught medicine man. I'll stick with my liquid alchemy and avoid any liver scans. Well, the shakes go away when I hear them start to pour, and I guess it won't hurt if I have a couple more. Well, my poor old man's been so unkind, I can't take it anymore. I just down this round, please stick around and pick me up off the floor.
They're going nuts. Awesome work.
Thank you.
Now, you just released some music with your brother and and some good friends of yours. Tell us about the latest record you released and what's in store, because I know you've got a ton ready to come out.
Yeah, we've got a bit. So for people who are stateside, Australia's just recently, or East Coast Australia, has gone back into lockdown because of the Delta outbreak, and we're just emerging from it. So that means that this is actually the first time in 135 days I've played in front of people, live, right? So that meant that like all the gigs were cancelled, all the festivals were cancelled, and the band that I play in, which is called Michael Carpenter and the Banks Brothers, we had a lot of exciting things coming up, but we thought, you know what? Well, we might as well just make like the next 2 records. We got nothing else to do. Everyone's got home studios. So we finished the first of the 2 records, and it's kind of in that post-production thing. So we've released 2 singles from it. The actual record, I think, will come out probably in February because vinyl takes about 3 months to press and everything. So we've released an instrumental, which we did as like a fundraiser for Beyond Blue, the mental health thing. And support act, that's what it was for musicians and mental health. We've released one of Michael's songs, which was for Father's Day, and in Australia we have Father's Day in September, as opposed to, I think it's June that it is in America.
Right.
I
remember we got to celebrate 2 Father's Days.
Yeah, I would always go over to the US in like their summertime, and I would get there and have like 2 Father's Day. But now I'm a father, I've never had that because COVID happened, Anyway, so the record is in this, we've just basically got to master it and figure out cover art and everything. But it sounded pretty good. We've really had the time, as you are aware of this, time is money in the studio. So if you're actually going in and doing live sessions with other people, like, you don't really have the luxury of really tweaking things, unless you're Axl Rose, of course, you've got like 20 years. Mm. But when you're at home and you've got your own setup, you can sort of really tinker with things. And when, we didn't know when this lockdown was going to end. So it was like, well, I'll just like sit on this song for a week and see how it sounds. And as a result, like it sounds pretty good, if I may say so for myself.
So where is everyone going to be able to go to find this record when it comes out? And
that's
what
a
are
good
they
question.
Going to search?
Michael Carpenter, the Banks Brothers is the thing to search, and we have like a Facebook page. We're on Instagram as well. MC and the Banks Brothers, or M Carpenter, I think, is another search you can put in, and the Banks Brothers. The album is available on all streaming services. Mm-hmm. So we've released an LP last year, which is like straight up honky tonk. Last year's record, we just went in and we tracked it the way Elvis and Merle and those guys did, just like all the dudes in the studio. Bang. We did the whole thing in like 3 days. And the last gig I did before our lockdown, we actually recorded. So if you go and you type in Michael Carpenter and the Banks Brothers to YouTube, we've got all our film clips up there, including a 4K filming of like this whole last concert And Michael, who is in the band, runs the studio. So, and you know him, Anthony, like he's a real whiz when it comes to production. So it looks great, sounds really good.
I actually did an interview of Michael that we'll put on for the next show next week.
Oh, cool!
So you guys will meet Michael next week. So
very talented individual.
Yes, this will make sense. Well, that's wonderful. Look, I cannot wait to hear these latest tracks because I know Michael did tell me a little bit about what's going on and how they. And I've heard a couple of bits and pieces, and it's sounding incredible. Would you like? What song had you? You got anything else you'd like to play for us today? We'd love to hear something else. There was a few more comments that came in. Clayton said that was mad, loved it. Valerie said. Actually, that was something to do with, I don't know, me too. See you there. I don't know where she's going. Jan said they must be going to another Tommy show. Oh, that's good. Nice solo, says Tom. Tom is guitar player as well.
Good. Nice noticing. It's not a Danny Gatton model, but it's based off the Danny Gatton model.
There you go.
Yeah, so these are Gatton pickups. Well spotted.
Aha, there you go. Yes, there are some pretty awesome guitarists that drop into here and spot things every now and again as well, which is really cool. All right, so yeah, just introduce your next song and I'll be back shortly.
Cool. So the next song I'm going to play is called Lay My Bones to Rest. My mum's family originally from the UK, and my great to the power of probably 5 grandfather got sent out as a convict for stealing a horse. That's how Australia originally sort of came to be a colony. And they settled in the south coast of New South Wales, kind of where Anthony's now based, which is a really big coal mining area. It is not dissimilar to like Virginia, West Virginia. Very similar, like accent is obviously different, but that same sort of Scots-Irish coal mining communities. And all of my grandfathers, were coal miners. And so I grew up hearing stories about basically how hard and unpleasant being a coal miner is. And this little community, which is called Mount Kembla, where my mum's family are from, had what I think is still the worst peacetime disaster in Australian history. Like one day in 1901, the mountain basically blew up because a miner had a naked flame and it hit a pocket of gas and it exploded. And ironically, it was actually the day they were going to ban naked flames in mines was the day that the mountain exploded. It killed about 98, boys and men. So I grew up hearing stories about that and, about the sort of ghosts that are up there. And there's this tiny little church on the hill. It's really beautiful. And my grandmother has bought a plot for me up there and our whole family, and the entire cemetery, which is quite small but is essentially just ancestors of mine. So it's where I'm going to be buried. I really love it down there. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of history, got a lot of kinfolk down there, and I thought I'd write a song just kind of about the stories and the hardship, and this is called Lay My Bones to Rest. There's a place in the Durrow land, down Windy Gully up on Violet Hill, where backwoods whisper by American Creek, and King Mickey still reigns. That ancient ridge is a land spoiled, a dirty tomb where poor folks slave and toil, with sunken eyes and blackened lungs. Their pain has gone unsung. I hear my kin calling me through the iron barks and the figs, across the hillside saying lay your bones to rest, count the rain. And handle your corridor heights with soldiers and miners on that dark hillside. Corridor heights shivers all alone, where the high cold wind sweeps their graves. I hear their voices calling me through the iron barks and the figs. Across the hillsides and the valleys, saying lay your bones to rest, to count the rain. Satan's tongue lashed those hills in the year of our Lord 1902. From his belly spewed out a stone, fourscore devoured whole. I hear their voices calling me through the iron barks and the figs. Across the hillsides and the valleys, saying lay your bones to rest, to count the rain. When fear appears in a fistful of dust, and voluntaries abound from Gabriel's band, a horse-drawn carriage will leave Port Jackson, southbound for King Mickey's land. I hear my kin calling me through the iron barks and the figs. Across the hillsides and the valleys, saying lay your bones to rest, lay your bones to rest. Lay your bones to rest, lay your bones to rest, lay your bones to rest, lay your bones to rest.
Holy smokes. Wow.
Thank you.
Now, the first time I heard that song was on stage with Michael Carpenter and the Banks brothers. And I
That's
heard
right.
you guys play it with the band. And the intensity of the driving drums and the harmonies that were in that were just gorgeous. But what you just did then was something totally different. Like, that was beautiful. And there was so much depth that you were able to get out of that performance. I loved it. Thank you
thank you.
much. I love
well,
that song.
originally it was conceived as like a kind of Appalachian folk song. You know, I really wanted that sparse, lonesome sound, and it was only we actually cut it like that in the studio, and then we played it live, and we're like, well, everyone's on stage, let's just do a Steve Earle kind of thing. And we're like, this is kind of cool. So then we re-recorded it, but I like being able to, bring out the kind of intimacy and there's tragedy imbued in those hills up there, in the same way that if you go to Harlan County or that, like, there's poor folk who really suffered up there, and no one talks about it, Yeah. And hopefully a song like that can kind of, bring awareness to just like being a coal miner. Like, it's brutal, man. You don't want to be a coal miner.
And
It had to be done, right? But, I just think of...
I love the way your melodies make you feel like you can feel the ghosts. Like,
Oh,
it's beautiful.
Thank you. That's what I was going for.
The way that they dance around. Can I ask you what on earth is that chord? The first chord in the is it the pre-chorus or the first chord?
Oh, the chorus? It's an E flat major 7 chord, but it's just an unusual voicing.
When
If you were
voice
playing
it
a
up there,
jazz
I'm like,
gig,
how many?
there's your jazz voicing, right?
Yeah.
But if you play it with open strings and change the sort of, for those non-musical or those who don't know about music harmony, you can take any of the notes in the chord, you can just reorder them, and that's called changing the voicing. So the notes of this chord, which Duke Ellington would play it like this. If I change them around and put an open string, I get this.
That is quite a stretch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's very sympathetic to the guitar. And then you move the lower part down
So
to get
gorgeous.
that tension.
Yeah.
And the common
that
note is that
movement
G.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
It's in all the chords.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. That way you're able to keep that drone sound
Exactly.
just pulling it. Oh, I love it. It's so
A tipping
good.
of the hat to the bagpipes, which have the constant drone, and they're all sort of Scots-Irish communities in both these mining to the town.
I see. Listen, Zane, thank you so much for being here, and
Thank
you for
you.
coming on and playing for us. Everyone here, there's some beautiful comments you can go back to and read them after the show. People love the history, and there's a whole bunch of wonderful things. Snape stars are fantastic people. That's one of the really wonderful things that I feel very blessed to have these guys show up every week. So I'm so happy to introduce them to you, and make sure you get out there and follow Zane's musical endeavours and Michael Carpenter and the Banks brothers. You will love it. Thank you for being here, and you're welcome back anytime. So whenever you want to release something, you want to talk about it, or you'd like to just come on and hang out, I'd love to see you.
I like just coming on and hanging out, man.
Awesome. Well, maybe we'll do something where you can teach us a little bit more about guitar, because we haven't even scratched the surface here.
Yeah, happy to.
All right, wonderful. See you later. See you next time.
Thank you so much. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
That's Zane Banks, everyone. Dr. Zane Banks. How special is that? That's just so cool. I love the fact that I can bring on some incredible people, like people that are just musical gods to me, and share them with you guys, and it's just such a cool thing. And then I always forget. I'm like, okay, but I'm here to play a show. Tanya's here as well. Oh, mwah, lovely to see you. And all right, so let's see. Did you get any requests in? Make sure you make your requests so we can play the rest of the show. We don't have very much time left. We've only got 15 minutes. Oh my goodness, where did that time go? All right, what should we play? Let's play this one, because it always goes down well. Ready? Woo! That's good. Dave from Welter says he learnt something today. I think we all did. I don't need to be treated this way no more. You're all I've got, but you make me feel so small. Don't you know I believe, I feel you out of phase. And it shows, you're on a frequency I know, where the picture comes and goes, static in my head, all the words you once said, and your waves come crashing in, and the cycle starts again.
In spite of what goes wrong, you're the frequency I'm on. Alright, yeah. Electric pulse in a way I can't explain. I feel so close, yeah, I'm so far away. Yeah, it shows and shows. You're on a frequency I know, where the picture comes and goes. The static in my head, all the words you once said, and your waves come crashing in, and the cycle starts again. In spite of what goes wrong, you're the frequency I'm on. Frequency I'm on. You're on a frequency I know, where the picture comes and goes, and the static in my head, all the words that you once said, and the waves come crashing in, yeah, the cycle starts again. In spite of what goes wrong, you're the frequency I'm on. Yeah, frequency I'm on. Alright, yeah, you're the frequency I'm on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, I think we've only got time for a couple of songs here. Now, Lauren has asked for Safety Zone, and Valerie has asked for Lay Down Your Love. You know what? Lay Down Your Love is always a great song to finish the show with. So, let's see. I haven't even tuned this baby up, so let me just quickly do that. So good to see you all. Now, straight after the show, I'm going to go and play the Patron show, and I have a brand new song to play everyone. And it's a song that I wrote with one of my favorite co-writers. So if you would like to get in on that action and you're not a patron yet, come on board. Come and be a part of the Snape Start Patron. It costs less than a cup of coffee a month. It costs practically nothing to be involved. And you get a brand new song every week. That's 4 brand new songs from me every week. And when we get to 30 songs, what we're going to do is we're going to choose one to release, and you get to help choose that song. So what's been really great about having a Patreon page is there are a lot of songs that I've written that nobody has ever heard. And if I leave it up to me, some of them I wouldn't play for anyone. But I'm not the greatest judge of songs, you see. So letting the patrons hear, letting you guys hear some of the new songs, it allows for those songs to come out of the hard drives and actually get a chance to be heard by lots of other people. So come on board, and there's lots of other things that we're going to be doing too down the track, where we may be writing some songs together and all that sort of stuff. So come on board, check it out. Okay, so this is for Lauren. Safety Zone for Lauren. Let's see if we can get this happening. Yeah. from the heart down, baby. 7 love in a deadly game. Friction forces the hand unwilling. You'll never see it again. Shot me on the outside, blinded by the search, life for reasons I may never know. Oh, oh, shot down in the crossfire while you're on the inside, lying in your safety zone. Oh, oh, oh. Friction forces the hand unwilling. Now the love in a deadly rain. What did I do to deserve this coma? You'll never see it again. Oh, shot me on the outside, blinded by the search, life for reasons I may never know. Oh, oh, shot down in the crossfire while you're on the inside, lying in your safety zone. Oh, 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 yeah. I think I usually play that one with the track. That was the abridged version. Of course. There you go, Lauren. That was the shortened version. Say hi to William Shatner if you see him up there. He was only here for a second. I did wave as he went past. Dave? Oh. Wasn't that so cool that he got to go up into space? That was just one of the most wonderful things. I love that. All right. So to end off the show today, I'm going to play this song. And oh my goodness, the show is so short today. Let me just see if there's... Okay, that's good. Wherever you are and whatever you get up to this week, there's lots of changes happening in the world, and I just want to, wish you the absolute luck and give you lots and lots of love out there in the world. And I know Chris sent me a message before the show, and he said that he was driving, but he'd be listening. So a big hi to Chris, and everyone says hi to you. And I cannot wait. Soon we're going to be putting together house concerts. So there'll be a house concert tour happening, and we'll be getting out into the world. So be aware of that and watch your emails as that comes through. Also, there'll be emails coming out for the patrons that are happening very, very soon. So straight after this show, the patron email will go out, and your links will be there ready for you to pop in and be a part of it. All right. Okay, let's do this one. I love finishing the show with this song because it puts out exactly the kind of love that I want to put out into the world. So you guys get out there and have a wonderful week wherever you are. Oh, and Welter's doing their show on Wednesdays. Cool. Jump on in there. Gotta let down your defenses.
'cause it's the way it's meant to be. Lay down your love, find everything you wanted and everything you needed now. So lay down your love. You will feel the light above you, and the world will turn to love you in the end. Give a kiss on this gracious morning, or see a sun up in the rain. Capture an endless summer, crossing your heart, you sing again. Lay down your love, find everything you wanted, everything you needed now. So lay down your love. You will feel the light above you. The world will turn and let you in the air now. You gotta be free now. You gotta live. Got it all inside you. Hey now, you gotta give love. Let yourself love and give it all. Lay down your love, find everything you wanted, everything you needed now. So lay down your love, you will feel the light above you, and the world will turn to love you in the air. In the air, no, alright. Oh, never know when it's gonna end. Don't you live too fast, try to get past you by blink of an eye. Not know why. Oh, right. Lay down your love. Oh, lay down your love. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Oh, lay down your love. Stay safe out there. Mwah. Yeah.